Hey, what's going on YouTube? Hey, first off, I want to start off by saying this. This is not just about Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Irma, natural disasters. This is about major situations that can happen. My battery's at 15%, so I'm gonna make this quick. You know, when I worked at the dealership, people would have a car accident, major car accident, where the car is totaled out, and the insurance company would get them a check. Normally, they'll cut them a check for the blue book value of the vehicle, okay? When they give people the blue book value of the vehicle, a lot of times that's not enough money, okay? Let's say if there is enough to pay off the loan, but they just get them a check. The problem is that if their credit score has gone down from the time that they bought the car versus the time that the major accident happened, what that would do is, by the way, let me take this hat off. I don't want to seem unprofessional. I know a lot of people always say things about the hat. So either way, that puts them in a position where their credit will be the only way to help them get that car. That's the same situation that you guys are seeing with Hurricane Irma, Hurricane Harvey, past natural disasters. When people lose their homes, when they lose their cars, the insurance companies, some of them do step up to the plate and, give them that money, okay? But the problem is they only give them that money. A lot of times it's not enough to cover the entire cost of the home. A lot of times it's not enough to cover the entire cost of the car. And we're not just talking about material things. Don't get it twisted. What I'm saying is that I have a lot of clients that are retired, semi-retired, and they didn't think that credit mattered. But then a situation like this happened, just like these people are dealing with this hurricane situation. When they go back, a lot of them don't have anything to go back to. And guess what? They have to play the game again. They have to finance the cars again, finance the homes again, and some people may not qualify. This is exactly why the credit score matters. Because now we know that we don't want to live on credit cards, but you better believe, what can you do when you live in, let's say, in Houston, or you live at the edge of Florida, and your area gets hit so hard you can't go back to work, but you have a credit card with a $5,000 limit. Now let's say you got some money saved up and things of that sort. My wife is calling me, so she'll understand why. But let's say that you have some money put to the side and things of that sort, but you may not want to exhaust all of your liquid funds. That's where credit comes in. Now, I'm not saying that you should live a life of debt, things of that sort. That has nothing to do with that. What I am saying is that in a situation like this, when you can't go back to work and you have to rely on something, this is where a credit card will come in. This is where, getting the mortgage again for your family, getting that car again. Even if the insurance company steps up to the plate, they're only going to give you a certain amount of money. I'm telling you guys, when I worked at the dealership, people would come in with these checks. Well, my insurance company gave me a $5,000 check. Perfect. These are $5,000 cars. They said, oh no, I can't be driving anything like this. And I said, okay, great. Let's run your credit. Let's see where you can get. And then that's when, and of course, from the time that they got the car originally, they had great credit. Maybe not sometimes they had not have the best credit. But they'll be in that situation. And what ends up happening, they go back to, trying to get another car, get another home. Well, in my situation, they was trying to get a car and their credit score had went down. This is why the credit score always matters. Again, I talk to people that are elderly and they're like retired or semi-retired. And they say, you know what? Listen, I don't work anymore. I don't need to finance anything anymore. Then the car dies out. Guess what? Now, unless you're going to pay cash for it. And just so you guys know, there's nothing wrong with paying cash for a car, but let's be honest. Do you really want to save up 10, 15 grand to drop on a car? Are you serious? Liquid cash to do that? Or you could use that for an investment or something. The thing is, nothing wrong with OPM, and that's other people's money. The only people that don't always see it that way seem to be people that don't have the best credit, okay? But these are perfect examples. It's unfortunate. And these things happen. And then people say, oh my God, I have to rely on my savings account, or I have to rely on something else. That's where credit is going to come into play. It may not even be right now. You may be living off your savings. There's nothing wrong with that. But when the insurance company steps in, it's not going to be enough. If you bought a house, let's say for $150,000, and the market value in your house has gone down, or it may not appraise because there's nothing to appraise it to. And let's just say that your house is worth $100,000. They're going to give you a check for $100,000. But you and I both know you need more house than that. That's where credit is going to come into play. Even if you have that strong of a down payment, you better believe you still have to have credit good enough to get that mortgage. Just same thing with the car, guys. And it's not just about mortgages or cars. It can be about student loans, whatever the case may be. But unfortunately, this is where people see the seriousness of always having your credit in order. Otherwise, you're going to have to always be looking out for outsourcers for cash and things of that sort. So first off, I don't want to seem like I'm insensitive to the situation. I'm not. My mom lives in Florida, and we have to bring her up here as fast as possible, for those who know me on a personal level. But either way, I most definitely understand how detrimental that could be. But when she goes back, some places are not being able to hire people right back on. Some people can't just go back to their job, and but you still got to eat. And I don't know if you guys have seen the meals that they're serving down there too, but either way, my point is that it's not just all about credit. It's understanding the importance of it and why you should always have it in place. You never know what's going to happen. I had a client, her mom, because the problem is with millennials, a lot of millennials, their parents tell them that, they shouldn't get a credit card or something like that because they never taught us how to use one. Her mom told her not to get a credit card. So of course she didn't have one, but there was a death in the family. In between that time, she became my client. I got her first credit card. A couple months later, she got a credit limit increase. Someone died in the family. Guess who had to pay for the plane tickets? Everyone didn't have the money. She was able to put that on her credit card. She was going to have the money in 2 weeks, by the way. She was able to put it on her credit card. They went to the funeral. They paid for some funeral expenses as well, too, with the credit card. Came back. She paid the bill. Some of her family helped her pay the bill because, of course, they added some things to the credit card. They gave her the money a little bit later. But that's the thing, is that they didn't have access to it right then and there. So did she build some debt? Yeah, for a very short period of time. But then she had every intention on paying the money back. And that's the thing, is that people will get credit. They have no intention on paying these people back. That's not what I'm talking about. People will get into credit and they'll get into all types of unnecessary debt. That's not what I'm talking about. When I talk about credit, for those who don't know about Robert Kiyosaki, he talks about good debt and bad debt. There is a such thing as good debt. I'll give an example. I've got this house. I renovated it. Okay. I use none of my own money. I use all of the bank's money. And now there's retired people. For those who don't believe me, let me show you. There are retired people across the street. Okay. Retired people. I don't know if you guys can see. Now, some of them sit outside. Some of them don't sit outside. But there are retired people that live in this neighborhood. They said, oh, my God, I'm so glad that you came over and fixed this house up. Why? Because I don't want to be retired looking at a house that's all boarded up. Okay, so that's the good. So there is a such thing as good debt, and this is short term. But I promise you, the amount of money that, of course, is going to be made on this is going to be well worth it. I'll show you guys that pretty soon. But you guys know me. I only talk from experience. I know a lot of people are talking about, oh, I'll help you. You guys can do this. You guys can do that. I only talk from experience. So the only reason why I haven't talked about the full video of how I got this home with just using the bank's money, none of my own money, it was all with credit. I'm not trying to change the subject. I'm just trying to say that there is always a reason why, again, you want to make sure that credit is not an issue. Okay, it's nothing wrong with paying cash and things like that. It's nothing wrong with that. But you just want to make sure, though, if you don't have $15,000 to go buy a car, if you don't have $150,000 to replace a house, if you can't go back to work, that's where credit comes in, guys. Like I always say, first off, I'm going to be doing video in this entire series, but I'm going to wait till the house sells. That way I can show you guys real numbers. I know a lot of people say they're what I call finna do people. They talk about what they're finna do. Nope. Not here at 850. We only talk about things that we're doing. Okay. So either way, if you guys like this video, like it. If you guys want to share it, share it. And of course, if you're looking for more videos like this in the future, you can always subscribe. I hope the material is good. I always try to keep it that way. I promise you, I'm not insensitive to the situation that's happening down there, but I have family in different areas, and I'm telling you, they're thankful that their credit's in place for things like this, because I'm telling you, at the end of the day, cash won't take care of everything at the speed that you want it to, and it's okay. It's not a problem, to use credit, guys, as long as you use it wisely. If I bought this house at a low price and I sell it for a retail price, it's nothing wrong with that. And yes, you guys got to understand, but either way, I'll show you guys how to do that later. So take care. Have a great day.